Hey guys, it's Shreen, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to make a disco house edit. So what we're going to be doing is I have a sample in front of me, and I'm just going to show you the process of going from nothing to a nice little disco house track. And everything that I create, everything that we use in this video is going to be available for free in the description, so make sure to check for that. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it'll be available without a download gate. But yeah, let's get going. So I have this sample in front of me. It's called Does It Feel Good by BT Express. Here's the part that we're going to sample. So we have this little part. So this is the first thing, and possibly the most important thing for making this kind of house is finding a really dope sample. You know, you gotta find something that just has that really undeniable, cool, sort of sophisticated disco quality to it. And truth be told, it's really not that hard, especially like with the internet. You know, it'd be one thing if you were trying to go to like a record store and find these samples, but it's like all you really have to do is just go on YouTube and look up disco house samples playlist or something like that. You can find something dope. So yeah, you have to just find like a cool track that has some kind of a cool loop in it. Like I said, like I try to just kind of listen through and find those moments. Like that one where you can see there's a perfect little 1 or 2 bar loop there that you can just keep repeating, and it sounds really cool. It's got some cool character to it as well as some interesting stuff going on musically. And then what I'll do once I find that is we just go in and like get it exactly on beat. So we find the downbeat or the 1, which is that, and then I'll get rid of all this stuff over here. Cool, and then we just go through, and now and I think I'm actually going to take this one. So you just have to kind of train yourself to look at the waveforms like this. Like, I know exactly when I'm looking at it, where the 1 is, where the 2 is, where the 3 is, where the 4 is. And it's like, you just have to kind of be able to find that. It's not really that hard, to be honest. All right, then we're getting this transient right. Actually, I think I am going to take that other loop. Cool, so then once you have your loop, you can see it's not really synced up to the BPM. We're at 120, which I'm probably going to speed this up, but you can see like it's not really going to be just right on beat like this. So what you have to do is you can do this a few different ways. Probably the most simple would be to do this. So I know the BPM of this track. I won't say it, but what you can do is you can just, once you have the 1 lined up, you can just move your BPM, and if your track is unwarped, you can see how it starts like kind of going closer to the grid. And then see how when we get to 117, it locks in. It's still not going to be exactly perfect because this is like played live, of course. But there we go. So once you do that, you can find the BPM. And it's really not that hard, especially when you're working with disco. It's usually going to be between like 110 and maybe 130. But all you have to do is just get this unwarped. And as long as you have that 1 lined up, you can just scroll through the BPMs until you find it. And then that's like a really clean way to do it, because if you start doing a bunch of warping and stuff, it can get really messed up really quickly. But if you do it this way, you know, it's really clean and natural. And then all you have to do is just cut out that other part. And now we have a perfect 2-bar loop. And then what we can do is we can warp this as is. And now it'll still be like pretty much unwarped. The only warping will be just to get it like right in time. But now we can put this up to, let's do 126 BPM. And there we go. And maybe sometimes I'll go in and like perfect it. Like, you know, we could go in and get like these lined up, like this, for example. And then move that back. Usually I'll do like the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 just to get it like perfect, because you can see sometimes these are a little bit off, and since we do have modern technology to work with here, it always helps to get it perfect. All right, and then we'll actually line that up like that. And there we go. Now we have it perfectly in time. Cool. So from here, a lot of times I'll just pitch it up a little. Kind of gives it a cool flavor. And we can process it a little bit. I'm going to cut out some low end. And we'll get some drum bus on there as well to make it a bit fatter. Kind of gives it a bit more character. Cool, so now that we have our idea, now that we have like the raw concept of the track, now we can go and start kind of filling it out. So the next move that I'll usually do is I'll actually duplicate this and make the bass line. So the way that I make the bass is actually really simple. You just take your sample and then you low pass it instead of high passing it. And then you can hear that bass line in there, and then we're going to have to work with this a little bit. I usually put a little bit of saturation of some sort on it. But now you can hear just the raw bass line underneath there. And then the technique here is we're going to get a kick. So I'm going to use this one. And then we'll put in the kick. And you notice how right now with the sample, the bass line. So you can hear the bass, but you also get that doom, doom, doom underneath everything. We're going to get rid of that just by side chaining this to the kick. So now we have a kick playing underneath it, so we can put a compressor on there and sidechain it. And there we go. Now we get just the bass line, and then we can process the kick a little bit, give it a bit of drum bussing. But there we go, and then we can just like group these two together. We'll put a bit of saturation on the group. And now we have the low end right. And one more thing I'll do too, usually with the low end, is just convert it to mono using the utility. But there we go, and then we can put that underneath the original sample. And we'll sidechain the original a little as well. And there we go. Now we have the foundation of the track set up. So we'll turn everything down a little. Cool, and there it is. And now we can start adding in some drums here. Like I'll use the ones from that same kit that I used for the kick. We got like this open hi-hat. And we'll get a clap as well. And maybe we'll take a tambourine and put that underneath it all, just doing like 16th notes. And then we can get like these chops as well. put these in a group together, drum bust them a little. And there we go. We have a pretty nice little disco house edit. So that's pretty much how you go about doing it. Like I said, you just have to get the sample, get it something that sounds really cool, something that excites you, and something that you think is going to be an interesting 1 or 2 bar loop. Get that warped. It's not really that hard to do that. You just have to get the BPMs synced up and all that kind of stuff, which is a lot easier than you would think it is if you just approach it methodically. And then you just get the bass line and then start to build the drums around it. And next thing you know, you have this. So let's structure this out and just listen to the whole thing all the way through. And there it is. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get everything I just made, the full project files, samples, all that kind of stuff in the description for free. So make sure to go check for that. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because you can get it without a download gate. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.